At Gohan's house, Videl and Pan were in the kitchen. Pan was helping her mother clean up after supper, and Gohan was in his office, buried in work. He'd eaten at his desk again, which Videl didn't mind. She was proud of him. But she still wished he'd step away and join them more often. Suddenly, out of nowhere, it hit. A dense surge of dark ki. Gohan jolted upright, vanishing with a blinding burst of speed. He arrived at the source, but the energy was already gone. He shut his eyes and focused, trying to find any residue. Seconds later, it was back, stronger. A sphere of orange and violet energy shot from the tree line. Before he could counter, a figure, around 7 feet tall, closed the distance. Fast. Too fast. The attacks came at strange, elastic angles. Wait, this energy. It can't be. He couldn't see clearly in the dark, not at this speed. The energy felt familiar, but off, twisted. Like something he hadn't sensed since Dabura, or Boo. They traded a few sharp blows, then the figure vanished again. Gohan paused, eyes closed, feeling. A branch shifted behind him. He turned and there it was, a massive orange face, inches away. Piccolo opened his mouth and fired. The beam hit head-on, light and force swallowed everything. When the dust cleared, Gohan stood transformed into his beast form. "You haven't kept up with your training," Piccolo said. "Piccolo, your energy, it's different. Heavy. Dark," Gohan replied. "You were buried in your work. And with all the nannies and private tutors, Pan didn't seem to need me much either." "Of course we need you, Piccolo," Gohan cut in, powering down. Piccolo, clearly flattered, tried not to show it. "Right. Well, after unlocking this new form, I started digging into my heritage. Dende told me some Namekians had migrated back to their ancestral home, deep in the Demon Realm. I figured I'd spend a little time there." "The Demon Realm?" Gohan blinked, confused. "Right. We never told you about that." Piccolo took some time to explain the time Goku, Vegeta himself, Shin, and the others were turned into children and ended up in the Demon Realm, facing the Tamagami, Du, and Goma. Gohan had no memory of anyone talking about it, but then a faint recollection surfaced, being hunched over paperwork when everything suddenly shifted. One moment he was small, the next grown. No memory of shrinking. He looked around, puzzled. Had the room gotten smaller? Weird, Gohan had muttered at the time, then went right back to work. Now he looked at Piccolo, thoughtful. "I remember Supreme Kai mentioning something about the Demon Realm back when we fought Dabura, but I didn't know you guys actually went there." Piccolo nodded. "We did. Turns out we've got history there. The Namekians, and even Shin, along with his people, originated in the Demon Realm." Gohan blinked. "Wait, the Supreme Kai has people?" Piccolo glanced at him. "They're called Glind. I'm not surprised you never heard of them. They're all but extinct. But it's where they came from. Same with us." He folded his arms. "Some Namekians from our universe have migrated back, returning to our ancestral home. They're rebuilding, restoring what was lost." Gohan hesitated, then asked, "So, you're actually a demon?" Piccolo smirked. "Majin, technically. And while I was there, they taught me a few things." Piccolo began to power up. His ears lengthened, nails sharpened, and his energy shifted. Heavier, darker. Not evil, just unfamiliar. Gohan couldn't quite place it. Piccolo's voice dropped and his fangs sharpened. Then, without warning, he launched forward, slamming a heavy kick into Gohan's midsection. Gohan blocked, but the impact still hurled him backward. He powered up, barely reaching Super Saiyan in time to evade the follow-up. Piccolo landed behind him, then braced, pivoted, swept his legs, and launched Gohan into the air. Gohan flipped midair, fired a ki blast on the way down, and shifted into his ultimate form. Piccolo charged straight through the blast, slashing at Gohan's torso and coiling an arm around him, tight as a python, before swinging him like a blunt weapon through the trees and broken ground. It looked bad, but Gohan held focus. He reached deeper. A burst of silver light exploded from his core, vaporizing Piccolo's arm on contact. In the distance, a focused glint. Gohan's special beam cannon. Piccolo smirked, raising 2 fingers to his forehead. Goku and Vegeta clashed like titans in the skies above the Demon Realm. Below, Neva and the Namekian villagers stood frozen. Neva's light shows and magic tricks were one thing, but this was different. This was raw, unfiltered, unlike anything most of them had ever seen. The battles against Frieza on Namek and against Goma in the First Demon Realm were monumental, but they hadn't looked like this. Goku and Vegeta weren't just powerful, they moved with a precision and fluidity that felt divine, like a kind of celestial choreography honed over millennia, now embodied in these 2 fighters who not long ago were entirely mortal. Vegeta fired a relentless volley of ki blasts. Goku slipped through them with practiced ease, flipping into a handstand midair. Vegeta swept in with a low kick, nearly catching him, but Goku fired a small ki burst downward, twisting out of reach just in time. As Vegeta followed through, their eyes locked. Vegeta upright, Goku upside down. They struck at once. Their fists collided with crushing force, the impact scattering shockwaves in every direction. Both were launched backward by the collision, energy bleeding from the clash itself and from the power behind their strikes. They landed, braced, and moved again. Goku lunged forward, but Vegeta raised his hands and unleashed a pulse of invisible energy. It hit like a wall. Goku was blasted off his feet, the pressure stirring a violent sandstorm that filled the sky with debris. The pulse also scattered residual ki through the area, clouding Goku's senses and masking Vegeta's presence from his instinctive perception. Then the ki orbs returned, dozen of them streaking through the storm. Even in his Super Saiyan God form, channeling Ultra Instinct, Goku was pushed to the limit, dodging them. High above, Vegeta stood atop a plateau, arms spread. The storm raged below, lit by flashes of orbs detonating midair. He began charging a final flash. Goku zeroed in on him and started intercepting the orbs, sending them rocketing towards Vegeta. He dodged easily, never breaking focus. Goku caught more with his feet, redirecting them straight into the heart of the forming attack. The beam faltered. Goku surged into Super Saiyan Blue and countered the blast, driving it backward towards Vegeta. It looked like it might break through until Vegeta dug deeper. Buried beneath the surface, he found something. Not rage, not pride, something purer. A flicker of divine energy sparked to life. It didn't last long, but it didn't have to. His strength surged, the beam expanded, and swallowed Goku's counter, erupting outward. When the light faded, Goku was gone. Vegeta! He turned. Goku stood behind him, perched on a nearby plateau, calm and unreadable, his body surrounded by the quiet shimmer of mastered Ultra Instinct. There was no fear, not from the eldest elder, not from the youngest child. Just silence, awe, reverence. Two immortals pushing, blow by blow, to the edge of godhood. Vegeta snarled in frustration. That divine energy, he'd felt it for a moment. It had flickered, then slipped away. And now Goku was pressing the advantage, ruthless. Every strike faster, heavier, and more exact. Vegeta couldn't respond. Just surviving it was taking everything he had. Each hit dragged him closer to a blackout. But then he found it. A spark. Steady. Stable. Something he could feed without snuffing out. The divine flame inside him surged, fused with the demonic core that made it burn hotter than ever. With a feral roar, Vegeta unleashed a wave of violet energy that exploded outward, slamming Goku into the dirt and scorching his arms. Before Goku could react, Vegeta was already there, pressing a dense white sphere of energy into his gut and detonating it. The blast carved a crater into the ground, burying Goku beneath a mound of debris. Goku clawed his way out, staggering upright, and locked eyes with Vegeta. Then he dropped to his knees, clutched his stomach, and vomited. With an enthusiastic grin on his face, he gave Vegeta a thumbs up before collapsing, unconscious. With his newfound power and divine status, Frieza launched a ruthless, calculated campaign to seize absolute control of Universe 7. Not as an emperor, but as a god. No longer bound by mortal limits or galactic law, he wielded his god of destruction authority like a scalpel, erasing entire worlds that dared resist and bending the survivors into obedient tools of his rule. The Galactic Patrol fought back with everything they had: battle-tested captains, advanced fleets, and coordinated resistance across dozens of systems. But Frieza wasn't just powerful, he was untouchable. His forces, bolstered by a vast army of artificial warriors acquired through a covert collaboration with the Heaters and reviving the Big Getty Star, overwhelmed the patrol with sheer numbers and precision. The synthetic soldiers, enhanced using the salvaged remnants of OG-73, provided nearly indestructible in the field. Even when the patrol scored victories, Frieza would personally intervene, erasing fleets and fortresses in moments. Their weapons failed, their tactics collapsed, and their morale shattered. In the end, the patrol wasn't defeated by strategy or attrition, they were overwhelmed by divinity. With their command structure in ruins and their influence scattered, planetary governments were dismantled and rebuilt in Frieza's image, bound to a doctrine of absolute hierarchy. Entire species were enslaved, rewritten, or erased. The Frieza Force, reborn and merciless, became both his blade and his architects. Across the stars, statues of Frieza towered, gilded in rare metals ripped from conquered worlds. His image became inescapable, edged into temples, broadcast through shattered cities, and looped endlessly in public squares. Civilizations were overwritten, their histories twisted, their beliefs replaced with doctrine bearing his face. His voice echoed like scripture, cold, recorded, and absolute. But Frieza's ambitions didn't end with Universe 7. In the shadows of his growing empire, he deployed elite agents to scour the universe for ancient relics, arcane texts, and forbidden power. Anything that could give him an edge against the only being he feared, the Omni-King. While his empire expanded outward, Frieza's obsession turned inward, toward immortality, and ultimately invulnerability. It wasn't long before he tracked down the elusive Super Dragon Balls scattered across universes 6 and 7. Summoning Super Shenron with regal arrogance, he demanded not just immortality, but absolute invulnerability. Body, soul, and essence immune to decay, destruction, or erasure. The dragon granted it, yet even as he stood invulnerable, a flicker of unease remained. He knew that no wish could protect him from the Omni King, whose casual whim could still erase him from all of existence, and so Frieza doubled down, pursuing forbidden magic, ancient knowledge, and untapped power that might one day place him above even the gods. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta, unwilling to let the universe fall under Frieza's rule, vanished from known space. They sought strength beyond power alone, disappearing into realms uncharted. Through punishing trials, they awakened the primal heart of the Saiyan bloodline and refined it with divine precision, fusing Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego with the raw, untamed force of Super Saiyan 4. What emerged from that crucible was not just evolution, it was something new, a power Frieza couldn't possibly anticipate. The perfect intersection of the demonic and the divine. In the forest outside Gohan's house, the fading glow of battle still lingers in the air. Leaves drift gently to the ground as two warriors stand across from each other, both powered up to their limit, both catching their breath. Piccolo straightens, eyes locked onto his student. "Train with me," he says firmly. "With the kind of power you're sitting on, I should never be able to keep up, and yet, here we are." Gohan exhales slowly, powering down as the wind stirs his hair. "I get it, Piccolo, I do, but I've got work, a family, responsibilities." Piccolo steps forward, tone sharper now. "And tomorrow is your day off, right?" He pauses, then adds, "Come, now, before you waste another second letting that strength rot." With Frieza reigning unchecked, peace feels further than ever. But Goku and Vegeta haven't given up. They're just getting started. Will their efforts be enough, or is it already too late? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Kuro.